Bum, 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 bum. And I think we're live. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining me. This is your host, ID Jester. We're going to be playing a full campaign of Churchill. This is Mark Herman's masterpiece, produced by, of course, GMT Games down here. So I want to give them a big shout out and thanks for sending me a copy of Churchill so we can provide it for you guys, a nice playthrough of the game. So I'm looking forward to playing this game, to be honest. So as you know, if you probably were on my channel a month or two ago, we actually did Churchill. We did the extended example of play in the rule book. And there's quite an extensive little, how to play to kind of get you into the game. It's illustrated example of play, and page 25 of the rule book. So we went through that online, and I was like, hey, I should probably just play this scenario out. But then I was thinking a couple things. Number one, you don't really learn much when you already have, it's like starting the war halfway over, right? Or you're starting a battle halfway over, or 3/4 of the way already over. You don't know what happened the first 3/4 of the battle, or the first 2/3 of the battle to get to the point where it is. So I decided, well, for me and for people out there that might want to learn how to play, it's no good like starting. So there's several different scenarios in here. There's the full campaign, which basically goes from conference number 1 up to conference number 10. There is a tournament scenario, which starts at, I believe it is, well, let's just look so I don't lie. Tournament scenario starts at conference 6 and goes to the end. And then you have the training scenario, which starts at conference 8 and goes to the end. So you got one that starts from 1 to 10. You got one that starts at 6 and goes to 10. And you got one that's 8 and starts at 10. So if you want to start at 6 or 8, you have to know what happened the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 conferences before you really have an idea of how to kind of understand the concepts of this game. I'm still trying to wrap my head around some of them, to be honest. It is it's a very easy game to kind of comprehend. It's a hard thing of trying to figure out what you should do with your little pieces. So we have, and I'm going to butcher this word about 50 times because I'm just don't understand why they use this most difficult word, clandestine networks, which means absolutely nothing to me. I might be an idiot, which, that's true, but it means nothing to me. I have no idea what that even represents, what that's supposed to represent in the game. Clandestine networks? What kind of terminology is that? I wish they would have gone, away from that, because that's crazy. I just don't understand that. But anyways, to really understand how to get to use the tournament or use the short campaign, and you're starting on turn 8, when you already have a lot of pieces on the board and stuff, I think it's best to just start in the beginning. So that's what we're going to do. We're starting at conference number 1. We're just going to take it right on the box, fresh. Smell it. It still smells fresh. It's just out of the box. I know we did have it out of the box for the last playthrough, but that was just a short little introductory how to play video. So now we're actually going to try and simulate an actual game. Yes. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how we do. I don't know. It might be the worst thing ever, but I'm hoping it will not be the worst thing ever. So here are the phases of the game. They're not too bad. Like I said, the rule book's not too bad. You have the conference phase. Then we have the meeting segment. We have the decision segment. And we have the war phase. So there's basically just 4 phases for a full conference. And you do that basically 10 times and you're done. So the conference phase, what we're going to do is, as Mark Herman points out in his detailed notes, design guides, whatever you want to call them in the rule book, he goes through and says a lot of what we're doing is, hey Richard, how you doing? A lot of what we're doing is before the conference happens, right? Teams were built to try and analyze and try to outthink and figure out and be able to use this information against your opponents. And a lot of that pre-thing analysts goes into the conference giving one side or another an advantage. So that's what the conference phase is going to be. Basically, you're going to decide which guy you're going to use as your agenda person. I don't know. Terminology is not very easy for me. And then one side's going to win that. Get that bonus against his opponents. All right. And then everyone's going to pick their issues that they want to have on the table during the conference. So that's the agenda, the conference phase. Then we go to the meeting segment. The meeting segment is where you start playing your advisors, and it goes around the table until all the advisors are used up. You're going to bring in 7 advisors to start with. You're going to use one of them for your agenda segment. It's going to give you 6 players, but of course each faction has their own leader, of course, Churchill and Roosevelt and Stalin. Roosevelt may be replaced later on in the game by Harry Truman if he has a heart attack and dies. Or if he just, he does die, and he's replaced by Harry Truman. So there's a lot to cover, I guess, a lot of things to go on, but I'm just kind of going over the basics of it. So you got the meeting phase, then you got the decision segment. This is where you get to resolve your decisions you made, and you get to put those on the other main military display board, and you're going to get all your rewards for the conference. And then we have the war phase. That's where you analyze what you did over here on the military display, try to move your fronts, move your pieces around the map, and we'll show all that when we get to it. So that's kind of just a broad overview. So it does have AI for all the players, for Roosevelt, for Churchill, and for Stalin. But to make things a little bit easier, we decided we were going to play as Sir Winston Churchill. So we're going to give the Brits some love. Rough swordsman, wargamer. Always on me about trying to make sure I root for the British, protect the British. So, Rough, this is for you, buddy. So we're going to be playing as Sir Winston Churchill. So he was obviously the Prime Minister of the United Kingdoms. So as England, or as Winston Churchill, if we ever play him on a global issue, if we ever use him on a global issue, then we automatically gain a political alignment marker. So you would think that's something super cool and special, and it is, but this is where the confusion for me in this game lies. Because you're talking about the very important political alignment marker. That's what it is. It's literally just a cylinder, right? So it took me a long time just to figure that out, because I'm like, well, where are these political alignment markers? You think you could have put like PM or something on the top of these counters so we all knew they were political alignment markers? I mean, if you play the coin games, they have things printed on each of the top and the bottom of each one of these cylinders, so I know they can do it. But it's very confusing that this all-important part is just a generic cube. Or not even a cube. It's a cylinder. That's what it is. So anyways, if we play Churchill on a global issue, we gain a political alignment marker. But, here's the biggest but, and this goes with all the different factions. Anytime you use their leader, they have a chance of something very bad happening. So for Winston Churchill, anytime you roll a 2 to 4, you're going to roll 2d6 after you use him. And if you roll a 2, 3, or 4 on these, he suffers a heart attack and he's unavailable for the next conference. So you basically lose him for the next conference. So it's a risk to play him. For Stalin, if you're playing Stalin, you're going to roll, again, if you use Stalin for his special, you're going to roll 2d6, and on a 2, 3, or 4, all Soviet staff cards that are played after him lose 1 to their strength, to a minimum of 1, because everyone's scared that Stalin is going to go on a rampage and just start killing everybody again. And then, of course, we already talked about this, but Franklin Delano Roosevelt, thank you. If you use him for his special ability, you're going to roll 2d6 again, and on a 2 or 3, he just flat up dies. Boom, gone for the rest of the game, and he's going to be replaced by Harry Truman, who has a completely different power. So, risk to use them is the main thing. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, let's get things going. Here we go. All right. Let's rock and roll. Hey, Nerd Workshop. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Nerd Workshop probably knows more about this game, and he never played it in his entire lifetime. He probably knows more about it than I do. But I'm learning. This is a learning game. So don't expect like professional job. No, I don't think so. All right. So, okay, here we go. I'm just trying to make sure I get the process right in the right order. I don't want to do something and go, oh, I should have done this, and then, right? I wish there was like a little player aid card that just said, do this first, and this, and this, and this. I know we do the annotated sequence of play. So we're doing the conference phase. I know we're doing that. All right. All right, here we go. Well, let's just follow along. Here we go. Here we go. Everyone strap in, my friends. Strap in. And Nerd Workshop likes my shirt. He's checking out my shirt. Thanks, buddy. I got this. We did a designer interview last year with Gregory M. Smith. And me and Ruff did anyways. Tony missed that session. And then Greg was like, hey, I want to send you guys something for, talking with me and having a good time with me and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, cool. So he sent us some of these shirts, which is cool. Butter Joey's in the house. All right. Here we go. So reveal the top conference card and implement instructions. Each player then deals himself 7 staff cards. So here's I got to show you the board. All right, so we got 3 cameras going for you guys. I don't know which one's going to work the best. Obviously, this is just the front view. You get to see me so we can talk face to face. All right, we probably won't see that much. Then we have this one over here, which takes the main action of the game and presents it over here. You have, of course, England and Churchill up at the top. You have Stalin and the Soviet Union down here, and then you have Roosevelt and the United States over here, and the round table, right? So everyone's equal, etc. Blah blah blah. Jay George, how you doing? Good to see you. Enjoy the game. I'm knee deep in ASL at 8 o'clock. Oh boy, I would like to get back into ASL sometime. God, I need to do that too. I really do. Man, if I only had time to do that. I won't even get into it because that's another story for another day. Anyways, so this is kind of the meat of what's going on. That's over here on camera 2. And then of course we have camera 3, which is the overhead camera. And this kind of shows you the board layout where you have all of your stuff over here that's going on, and then all the stuff you do over here is what affects what's going on over here. I guess that's the best way to put it. The things you do over here and the decisions you make will affect how everything plays out over here. And this is kind of the tracks and the information that kind of behind the scenes that is going on, right? When you do something to win when you win a issue, right? It doesn't mean nothing on here other than it's higher on your track than it is on anybody else's track. But what happens with it when it's there, and how does it translate into you moving your stuff along the tracks, or you gaining more naval support, or you gain more clandestine networks, right? Another important terminology, the clandestine networks, which are nothing more than these little clear, right? Yeah. All right. Anyways, so you got this massive board ready to go for this. Here we go. So we're playing the full game, as I mentioned. If you're just joining us, thank you. So there are 10 different conferences. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So there's 10 different conferences. You will notice that each conference has 3 different cards. There is an A card, a B card, and a C card. Normally, A card is what historically had happened, and then B is kind of a weirder version of that, and then C is like a far-fetched, not normal card. So if you want to play like ahistorical, you can just get rid of all the B's and C's, but and just play with all the A's. But we're gonna randomize it. So we're gonna randomize A, B, and C. We're not gonna know what it is. We're gonna choose one at random just to make things interesting and fun. And there we go. All right, not only that, but I've randomized it. Nobody knows where A, B, and C is. Anybody know where A, B, and C is? Point out A. Come on, where are you? Point out A. Nobody knows. But just to make things really random, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to roll a 6-sided dice as well, just in case somebody thinks I'm up to some shenanigans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we rolled a 3. So 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be this one right here. Boom. That's the one we're going to be doing. Richard Kurd said it was the middle. Well, that's incorrect because the middle was C, because that's the one I rolled. That was not the A one. Good try, though, Richard. Good try. All right, so before we get into this, then all the factions, each faction has a set of 21 advisor cards. We'll look at these in detail in a minute, but they're all just random people that have special abilities and special powers, and all sides start with 21. Why would it be 21, you might say? Well, remember, you're going to be drawing 7 every conference at random. So 7, 14, 21. So basically, you're going to have one conference, you're going to have enough for a second conference, and then third conference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One conference. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, second conference. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have enough for 3 conferences. So conference 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you're going to shuffle them all back together for the last conference. And that goes for all the different factions. So right now we're just drawing 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. Alright, the rest of the cards can be put aside. We will not be using them. Oh, this is our special card. Alright, now for the Soviet Union, we will shuffle for them as well. And away we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. That's done. Alright. And last but not least, the United States. But look, for the United States, we're going to be using black. Because my blue sleeves don't come in until tomorrow. So I had to put them in sleeves though. So, anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. Alright, so there's that. Done. Now, each player plays a staff card. Highest value wins. Now, with England, our special ability is our national characteristic. Well, this is super important. Imperial Staff is the name of the power. Staff planning during the agenda segment gain +1 strength. So basically, what does that mean? That's a great question. What that means is during this segment, whoever we choose for our play, we get a +1 to their strength. So if we put this guy out, he'll be a 5. If we put this guy out, he'll be a 2. If we put this guy out, well, we'll put this. If we say put this guy out, he's a 3 +1. He gets a 4. So we have to decide. 3, 4, 4, 1, 3. So we have 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Those are our staff numbers. So we're going to be using those numbers. So we don't have very strong hand because these go from 1 up to 5. And there are a special character. Each country has a special character. There's a star there. And the star means you roll a 6-sided dice. And you could end up rolling, obviously, a 6. Or you could roll a 1. So it's whatever the dice roll is. So it could be super powerful or super weak. So the best we have actually is the 4. And I'm choosing mine first because obviously if I know what they're doing, then it kind of breaks the game if I know what they're doing. So we're gonna do ours first. So yeah, I think we're gonna bring in Oliver Littleton. He's gonna be our guy. So everybody, if you were playing with other humans, you would just select him, put him face down until everyone selects theirs, then everyone turns them up at the same time. All right. So, but for us, we're playing with the bots. So we got to see what Stalin wants to do here. So Stalin, what he wants to do is roll a d6 is what he wants to do. He rolled a 4, so we look at 4, rolled a 3, 4, so he's going to play his second highest value card. So let's just look for his second highest value card. His highest value would be a 5, his second highest would be a 4. So we have two guys that are 4s, so he'll just choose this one. All right, and for the U.S., there's their cards. The U.S., they are going to probably roll a die too. Yep. They want to roll a die as well just to randomize things on this, and they're going to roll a 3. They're going to play their second highest value card as well. Look at this. They have a 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 2, 2. So he doesn't have any 1s, and he's got 2 5s. So his second highest will be a 4. I'm looking at their special ability now to see which one would come into play later. Yeah, we would have probably chosen, the U.S. player would have probably chosen that one. So everyone's chosen, everyone flips up, and wow, everyone went big trying to win this first conference. 4-4-4, so everything's a tie. But remember our national characteristic, we get a +1 during the agenda segment. We get +1 to our strength. So we're going to win this 5-4-4. So we won. What you do is you look at the highest, the winner won by, and then you look at the player who brought out the lowest one, and you find the difference between them. So if this is a, let's say the Soviets brought in just a 1 because they didn't want to use anybody good for it, right? So we would have a 5-1. We would have won by 4. But in this case, we are 5-4-4. We only won by 1 point. So we only win by 1. So, yeah, we'll get to, I guess I jumped ahead again. We can't do that yet. That's next. We have to do this first. Right? Or no? Oh no, each player simultaneously plays 1 staff card. Oh, we should have, actually, before we did all this, we should have done this. Anyways, we'll do that now. We'll come back to this. So the first thing you do is, see, I wanted to make sure I did it in order, and I didn't already. Casablanca. So this is January 1943 is what this conference was about. Conference number 1. All right. So each faction has their own section. So obviously England is green, the Soviet is red, and the U.S. is blue. So each section. So for us, we must use 1 production to place an offensive in the CBI theater. CBI theater. That should be China, Burma. Yes, I believe that's what that means. So each faction has a set number of production they have. So the USSR has 3 production. The United States has 6. England has 4. So for Casablanca, because we're spending some valuable resources, we must place 1 of our production on the CBI theater, which I think is the China, Burma, India theater. So we have to spend 1 of our... So what I'm going to do is just put this token over here to remind me that, yes, we had to spend it on this. Okay? For the Soviet Union, roll a d6. I'm going to roll a d6. If we roll 1, 2, 3, we have the Murmansky convoy. And that's going to give them +1 to USSR production. 4 to 6, no convoy, nothing. You get niet, you get nothing. So 1, 2, or 3, they're going to get the convoy. They got the convoy. It's a convoy. It's a convoy. All right, there is a marker for that somewhere. What did I do with that marker? That is a great, super great question. What in the hell would I have done with that marker? These are the pass tokens. Oh, here they are, the markers right here. They are. So, here we go. All right, so USSR production Minsk convoy. So we got the Minsk convoy. We will put that probably over here next to the Soviets, so I can try to remember. Hopefully I remember that. All right, so that was actually a good thing for them. And then political pressures on the United States. They must use 2 production in the Pacific Theater. Oof. So 2 of their production have to go down here in the Pacific Theater. I'm going to put them here just as a reminder that they have to go into the Pacific somewhere down here. That is, of course, Casablanca. That was our conference Number 1 is C, January 1943, Casablanca. All right. So that would have, that's what you do first, is you reveal the top conference card and implement the instructions. That's what we just did. Then each player is going to deal themselves 7 staff cards, which you saw we did earlier. Each player simultaneously is going to play one of those. High value wins. And then agenda winner picks one issue and places it on their track equal to the difference between the winning card and the lowest value card just played. So here are the different issues that we can get into. Lots of cool things like the A-bomb research, European theater leadership, Pacific theater leadership, what the U.S. does with some of their production, what the UK does with some of their production, what the United States, what kind of offensive they should run. Same thing for the British and the Soviet Union. And then Paul Mill, which will give you some clandestine networks and some political, yeah, what's their called? What do they call again? Political, they were so, yeah, the other thing. Political alignment markers, right. There we go. So, as we can see, we won this 5-4 to 4. So, we win this. And I'm just going to put these guys all aside. We only won by 1, so we get to choose one of these guys. And instead of it starting in the center of the table, we get to put it on our track towards our leader based upon how much we won by. So we only won by 1, so we're going to get to put it over here. I think what we're going to try to do is try and get some of the U.S. production, or we're going to try and get a political military. So let's see what our guys can do. You know what? We're gonna put in the political. The U.S. is in charge of the Pacific Theater right now. So you can see their big. Oh, you guys can't see anything now that I've switched cameras, right? So you can see their big token on it, in the Pacific Theater. And you can see in the Eastern Theater, or European Theater, it is owned by England. So, if England could get in charge of them, they're going to get a lot more oomph. If they have control of both of these. So, is it worth trying to do the Pacific Theater leadership? I think we shall. So, he's going to put it on the 1 space again, because it was, we only won by 1 point. And then we get to choose a second one, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no. So that's all I get to do, and then it goes clockwise from whoever won the conference. So it's going to be up to Stalin. And then Stalin gets to decide what he would like to do to add. And they get each country gets to add in 2. So he wants to have, he wants to get the United States more involved here so the Germans don't come over on the East Front, obviously. He's going to do the A-bomb research. And he's going to put in the U.S. production. He wants U.S. to start producing some stuff for them. Actually, you know what? I'm going to switch it up for a second. So you want to try to use, obviously, what your guys are good at. Each of them have their own special ability, right? So you want to try to use, like, oh, this guy's going to give you a +2 or a +1 on this and that. So I'm just going to choose this political military option. So that's USSR, comes over to the US. Now, the US doesn't like us being in charge of Europe, so he's going to try and take that from us. And again, same thing with him, because if he can get control of both of them, that could be pretty good. And strategic materials. I'm not sure what that one does even. I'll have to look that one up. He'll go directed offensive. He's going to put the Russian directed offensive in there. And then it comes back to us, and I believe, unless I'm reading that wrong, then we put 2 in. Let me just make sure we do that correctly there, because I hate to screw it up too early. All right, buddy. We'll see you later, nerd. Good. Thanks for stopping by. All right. Okay. Oh, this is something I didn't know, and I should probably mention this because anybody that watched earlier, I was talking about how you have 21 cards, right? So you got 7 for the first, 7 for the second, and 7 for the third. That's not actually true. It's not actually true. If the conference number is odd, each player shuffles his 21 card staff deck and deals himself 7 cards. If the conference is even, each player deals himself 7 cards from the remaining deck without shuffling. So, yes, if you do, you're only going to shuffle everything back together every odd conference, so every other one. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure. All right, then beginning with the player to his left and proceeding clockwise, selects a pair of issues and places them. Yeah, so these 7 issues plus, all right, yep. All right, so that would be 2 more because that's 2, 4. So I won 1, then he's going to go 2, 2, 2, so there would be 7 total. And we're going to choose U.S. production, so we can choose what the U.S. spends their production on. And and we'll go for some political military. Whoop, come here, you. There was some text on the back of this one. All right, let's put that there. So you can see this one's on the 1 space. These others are all spread around. All right, so that is the end. That's the end of the this is the end of the beginning. I wouldn't say I'm the expert at this. No, Airman, no. I'm still learning it myself. All right, so that's the end of the agenda segment, though. So now we're moving on to the meeting segment. Again, this is kind of the heart. This is where you and your players would argue and bitter back and forth. All right, so whoever's won the agenda, which was us, so the player clockwise from them, which is going to be Stalin, he is going to play one staff card, and advance an issue. So you play a staff card, and he's going to try to advance an issue. So let's see what he wants to do. All right. So all right, we are actually, this is interesting because we're going to play this one right here. This is Vyacheslav Merkurov. All right. So what we do is we look at his strength, which is up there in the corner. He's a 1. Not very strong, very weak, as a matter of fact. But obviously he's got a special ability like everyone out there. And it's, if played on a Paul mill issue, he gets +1 to his strength. So it'll be 1 + 1, he's a 2. So he's going to take this 1-3, and he's going to move it 2 spaces up the USSR track. Now, I'm going to keep this. Normally, you just push these guys aside once they're done, but this guy needs to stay out because he also has a deficit. He's part of the KNVD, I believe. So the next Soviet card that's played, we got to roll a 1 or roll a d6. And if we roll a 1, we remove that card from play because basically the KNVD officer had him arrested, so he's gone. Bloop, gone. So he's got some good stuff, but he's also can hurt. He can hurt us if bad things happen. So I'm going to leave his card out as a reminder that don't forget to do this, dummy. All right, so go over to the U.S. Let's see what the U.S. has to say about all this. So when they do this, right? So when they do this, then what we have to decide is, does the U.S. want to debate it? And if they want to debate it, then they put a card out and they can move it back over towards their side based on the strength of the... So the U.S. chooses not to debate it, and we say, no, we're not going to debate that either. Now the Soviets, just like we have a special ability, the Soviets have a special ability. It's called the Niet bonus. You have to say it just like that too. The Niet bonus. All right? Which means anytime they want to debate something, their guy gets a +1 to their strength. So they're really good at debating things, arguing with you, fighting with you, trying to steal your stuff away. That's what the Soviets like to do. So whenever the U.S. or we play something, the Soviets are going to jump in and, Niet, no, Niet, you will not get that. No, you won't. All right. So that was their turn. We go to the U.S. now because nobody's going to want to argue with that. So let's see what the U.S. does. All right, so intent is to hold the strongest cards and attributes for last. Only advance the second front or strategic materials issues if it will move it to the center. Considering the above restrictions, pick the next strongest card and attribute that advances an issue on the U.S. track, moves an issue closer to the U.S. track, or choice picks randomly. Never attempt to advance the second front issue. There is some nice information about how to play them, but they're very similar-ish with a few exceptions. So I wish they would have put like those exceptions in like red or something. They're only going to debate the A-bomb research and global issue, and only if instruction 2 below is possible. Instruction 2 is if debating the card would advance the issue into the U.S. track, debate the issue, use Roosevelt if necessary. All right. So the U.S. special power, we've talked about our special power, we've talked about the USSR. I can't speak. The The U.S. special power with Roosevelt is arsenal of democracy. Anytime there's a tie, the U.S. wins. So if it's a tie, like if we end up with having the same amount, then the U.S. wins. That's their special ability. All right. So we're going to the U.S. One thing I forgot to mention is if you ever get an issue all the way up your track to the leader, it's over. It's settled. That issue can't be used again. So you want to try to get the issues all the way up to your leaders so they've captured it. And you can see that that is possible because all the leaders have a strength of 7. So they could just take any issue from the middle and move it into their side. If it was something they really, really wanted to do. So the U.S. is going to play this. They're going to play William J. Donovan. And he's going to be played on a Paul Mill issue. He gets +3 strength. So he's a 2. We're going to play it on this Paul Mills. So he gets +3, so it's a 5. They're going to bring that way over there to the 5 space on the U.S. track. So, do we want to debate that? I am choosing not to. Now, Stalin, we need to look and see what he wants to debate everything, but because of course, you know, he gets the +1 bonus, so why not? All right, if debating an issue would move the issue onto the Soviet track, then he would try to debate the issue. If not, then do not debate. So it's way over there in the 5, so it'd have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'd have to have at least a strength of 6 to move it over to his track. And he is not choosing to actually... oh, wait a minute. Yes, he will choose to debate it. He's going to use his big boy here. This is Vladislav Molotov. So he's a 5, but remember, because of the NEAT bonus, he gets a 6. But remember, before we do any of that, we got to find out if he's arrested and thrown in jail. We do not want to roll 1 if you're rooting for the USSR. So, I think... Oh, I'm sorry. So it's the Gulag is the special ability for Vladvodov Merkurov. After playing or discarding the next Soviet staff card this conference, roll a d6 and a roll 1, remove that card from the game due to arrest. So he's actually, oh man, that's brutal. He just got rid of one of their really most powerful cards with the 5. Maybe, So this is actually removed from the game. So gone. Can't use it anymore. So this guy, he's brutal. But I guess we will follow the directions. If you guys think I'm doing something wrong, let me know in the comments section down below. But it said that if they can pull it back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because remember the NEAT bonus. So he had a value of 5 plus 1 for the NEAT bonus. So he makes him a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can move it over to his side of the table. And once you do that, you also get your pass marker, which means You can pass next time it's your turn. So that was the debate of the U.S. players card. Now it comes back to us. Yay! Our turn. All right, we're going to play Lord Beaverbrook. Lord Beaverbrook. Here he is in all of his glory. He's a strength of 3, but his main thing is he's a homeboy of Sir Winston Churchill. If Churchill is still active in the conference, he gets a +2 to his strength. So he turns it from a 3 into a 5. If Churchill is still active, Churchill is active, as you can see. So we're going to get a 5 strength on this. And we're going to take the Pacific Theater. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring it way up. We missed it by one little. But we're going to try and get that Pacific Theater leadership away from the United States. And like I said, there is a bonus if you have both the European command, whoever's in charge in each of the different locations, so either in the Pacific or the European, whoever's in charge gets like an extra +2 to their. They get a offensive support marker, and I think they get 2 of them, and then I think you get 1 for being in charge, and then you get an additional 2. I have to look it up. But if you have both of them, then you get an additional 2 beyond that. So you get a bunch. So we're gonna try for that anyways. So that is Lord Beaverbrook. Put him in the discard pile. Good job, Lord. Now, again, the US the Soviets could, but it would cost them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It would cost them Stalin just to get it over here, but they're not going to, I don't think they would do that. So, and then the U.S. could debate it. Of course, they would like to debate it for sure. But of course, they don't get any bonus, so they might as well wait. So they're not going to do it. So that is the end of our turn. So it goes to the USSR. They are going to use their pass tokens, so they do not need to activate. So it'll be back over to the US. US is going to say, they will play the Claude Wickard. Claude Wickard. He looks like a Claude Wickard, doesn't he? I mean, if you wanted to see what a Claude Wickard looks like, that's just about what I would have predicted right there. All right. Fight him on the beaches, Jester. Hey, Thorough 4, what's going on? Good to see you. So, if played on U.S. production, he gets +1 to his strength. He's normally a 3, +1 if he's doing the U.S. production. So, guess what we're going to put him on? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right. U.S. production. Might as well. England, do you wish to debate that? I choose not to. Soviets, oh my God, here we go again. We need a 1, 2, 3, 4. We would need a 5 total. I remember everybody only has a certain number of cards. Once you're out of cards, you're out. You won't be able to do anything. So I think he's going to use the Niet bonus again. Niet! You will not have that. Niet! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because of the Niet bonus, he is a 4. +1 is a 5. Then we place a naval marker in the Atlantic Theater box. Arctic Theater box. That's what I meant to say. I was going to say that's a little crazy, but okay. So we got a marker in the theater box there. Up on, why would it move like that just as I go to click something? So we got a marker right up there in the Arctic Theater box. I know it's hard for you guys to see that. Once there are 3 markers there, for any clandestine networks or political markers to go in Norway or Finland, has to have 3 of our markers there. All right. So once again, the Soviets will take their little pass counter because they've argued once again. Us, that was U.S., so it goes back to us. That player's out of the... Wow. All right, so let's see what we got here. All right. Trying to debate which card I want to play. All right, I guess I'm going to play this. That is Lord Louis Mountbatten. Lord Louis Mountbatten. He's only got a strength of 1, but you notice down here at the bottom, more importantly, if playing on a Pacific Theater leadership issue, +2 to his strength. So we're going to go ahead and just capture the political theater. So nobody can debate it. It's over because it's in our territory. It's over. So it'd be a 1 plus the 2. We didn't really need the +2, but... So Stalin will pass. So it goes back over to the U.S. player. All right, he is going to play Averell Harriman. Averell Harriman, I think. He's got a strength of 4. And if playing on an issue on the Soviet track or Churchill is active in the conference game, +1. So he's going to gain a +5. And he's going to take this Paul Mill issue away from the Soviets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. So we could play something, and I will play something actually. That's going to be Sir Charles Portal. Sir Charles Portal. So he's normally 1 strength, but +2 if played on an issue that is on the U.S. strength. So it's going to be a 3. He's going to do 1, 2, 3, and that's going to go right back to the center. Nobody owns that issue right now. So that was my... I can pass if I want now because I debated. All right, so goes over to the Soviets. All right, he's going to play Minister of Transportation, the Tsar Kaganovich. The Tsar Kaganovich. Kaganovich. There we go. I think that's it. That'll be it. Yeah, there we go. So he's normally a strength of 2, but if Stalin is still active, he gets a +1. So that's a 3. So he is going to bring the A-bomb over 1, 2, 3 onto Stalin's track. The U.S. might not like that at all. Now, he will not debate it. I will not debate it. So that will be it. So it goes to the U.S. player. The U.S. player says, wow. So that's Kaganovich. There we go. So we're going to, the U.S. is going to play. Dun, 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 dun. Cordell Null. If played on a palm mill issue, he's going to get +1 to his strength. Normally a really good 5, but we can make him a 6. Now, the question is, does he want to take the one from the Soviets or take the one from the middle? I think he will take the one from the Soviets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 plus the 1 for having the palm mill issue. So that's a total of 6. We can debate it. We're going to choose not to. The Soviets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They cannot get that issue back on their side, so they can't debate it. Well, I mean, they could debate it, but according to their AI script, they wouldn't debate it. So that was the U.S. So it's over to us. Wow. All right. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? It's we don't want to get in the middle of this A-bomb fight here between the USSR and the United States because they're going to be sure. All right. Well, we're going to jump in on this. Sir Henry M. Wilson. He's only a strength of 2, but he's got a special ability of playing on an A-bomb getting +2. I'm sorry, +3 strength. So that's going to be a 2 plus 3 is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to move the A-bomb up our track. And the Soviets are not going to like that at all. So they're going to play Stalin. They're going to jump out and just play Stalin. And they're going to move that 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All the way over there on. So we're going to roll 2d6 and find out if he's going to go paranoid. And let's see if his paranoia kicks in. So we roll a 2, 3, or 4. He becomes paranoid, and all for the remaining of the conference. All of the staff cards for the Soviets are reduced by 1 strength. So I rolled a 10. So he's not paranoid. Not paranoid. He wants that damn A-bomb. So he is not active anymore. I'm going to put his little token on inactive. So we tried to get it from him, and then Stalin's. Does he get the Niet bonus? I think he would. So you get the 7 plus he's debating us. He was debating our play. And then he gets the pass token. Now, one thing I didn't mention so far is whoever wins the most issues wins the conference and gets a little bit of a bonus. So you want to try to win as many issues as you can. So it goes back to the U.S. And the U.S., believe it or not, are going to spend Franklin D. Roosevelt. So he will go inactive. And they're going to bring this all the way back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it brings it all. Oh, so close. Stalin almost won it. But once Stalin left the room, Franklin Roosevelt tricked the Soviets into giving up the information, and he takes it all the way back to the one spot. Now, of course, we could debate that if we wanted to. I'm going to choose not to. And the Soviets will. Might as well. So they got another guy here. Let's see what his name is. His name is going to be Semyon Biony. Semyon Biony. He's a strength 5, pretty strong. But you see, if Stalin is still active, which he's not, he's -2 strength. So now that Stalin's not around, this guy can yell and scream all he wants. He's going to get 5. +1 for the Niet. He's going to go 6. He's going to bring this. He's going to bring the A-bomb right back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Woof. And, of course, the Soviets keep their pass. So that was the U.S., so it goes back to us. We have 2 courts left. The Soviets have 1, and the U.S. has 2. So it's conference is winding down. We need to figure out how we're going to win these last few things. Right now, the Soviets have 2. We've won 1, and the U.S. has 1. But we still have the man. Fight him on the beach. We fight him in the sands. We'll fight them forever and ever. This is not the beginning, my friends. No. It's not even the end. But, yes, it might be the beginning of the end. We will play this guy. Bam! This is going to be Sir Hastings Ismay. He is a 4 strength. Attribute. If Churchill is still active, he gets +1. So he's going to be a 5. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that Palmio issue right there. Boom. Did they want to debate that? Nope. Does the U.S. want to debate it? No, they do not wish to. So it goes to the Soviets. So this is going to be their last play. He will play the... Let's see what this guy is. Yeah? That is Alexander Novikov. Alexander Novikov. He is a 3. And if played on a directive offensive, which we don't... Yeah, we do. Place an offensive support marker on the east front. So they're gonna take their own directive support marker and move it 1, 2, 3 onto their track, and then they're gonna place an offensive support marker on the eastern front. Boom, right there. Oops, you guys can't see that. Boom, right here. So we're going to put that right there. So we're going to be attacking here sometime. So that's it for them. Boom, boom, boom. They won't be able to do anything else. So it's up to the U.S. It's got 2 cards left. Strategic materials. Yeah, that would have been a good one to bring in, but they didn't. So this guy is gone. The U.S. is going to bring in Leo T. Crowley. Leo T. Crowley. He's the strength of 2. Gets a bonus if played on strategic materials. But we don't have that issue, so he's just going to be a 2. I think what we're going to do is bring our own U.S. production 1-2. And we could debate that. We are choosing not to. So it's to our turn now. Well, all right. We will fight them on the sands. We will fight them in the air. We will never surrender. Sir Winston Churchill has come out of hiding now. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to bring that U.S. production all the way over to our house. And now we're going to roll 2 dice. We're going to roll 2 dice. If we roll a 2, a 3, or a 4, we will suffer a heart attack. Will not be available for the next conference. We rolled a 10. We are fine. We'll fight them on the beach. We'll never surrender. All right, so that's our turn. It goes to the Soviets. They're done. Goes to the U.S. They only have 1 card left. That'll be Harry Hopkins. Harry's the last. Using the big cards last. He's a 5 strength. He's got a special ability if played on a strategic material issue, and Roosevelt is alive. Hopkins can have a strength from 1 to 6 at American's option. If Truman is president, he gets -3 to his strength because he didn't like Truman or Truman got rid of him. I don't know. Anyways, Truman's not alive. Is not president. And we don't have strategic materials, so it's going to be just 5 for Harry Hopkins. And I think what they're going to do is at the last minute, they can get the A-bomb research back down to nothing. Or they could take the directive of it. Yeah, you know what? They're going to take the A-bomb. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and take it right back to the center of the table. Nobody's going to win that issue. Nobody! Wait a second, you say. Wait a second, you say. Somebody's still got a card out there. It is not over, my friends. No. We have coming in through the door in his uniform, pristine condition, Sir Henry C.B. Wemyss. Sir Henry C.B. Wemyss. Strength of 3. And if played on a UK directed offensive issue that is on the U.S. track, he would gain +1 strength. But, no sir. That is a +3 We could take the directive offensive back from the Russians. We could move the European theater, which you already own. Or we could take the A-bomb research. I don't know how that plays if England wins the A-bomb research. Do we take the European theater leadership? We're already going to win the conference because we have 3 on our side. Soviets only have 1. The U.S. only has 1. We did really good. We're going to get another one, so we're going to have 4 on our side. Somebody's going to think I'm cheating or something. Hey, Jockins, how you doing, bunny? I don't know why you were recommended to me, but I wish you best regards from Germany. Okay. Well, somebody recommended me to you. What do you enjoy watching, I guess? So, we're going to I don't know how this would play out, to be honest, A-bomb research. If we win it, 1, 2, 3, if we just give that to the U.S. then? Because we don't even have a token on the track that keeps track of that. Oh my God, mouse, you fucking piece of doo-doo. There's only these 2 markers. So I don't even know how. And I don't want to have to try to figure it all out. So what I think I'm going to do is just I'll take this. 1, 2, 3. For Sir Henry C.B. Wymus. Good job. All right. Let's see what we end up with. So, player with the most issues wins the conference or win through tiebreaker procedure. All right. So that is 527. Let's look at 527 and just make sure we don't get any kind of... After the last staff card is played, the meeting segment's over. Each player now wins any issues on his track and places them on his leader's chair. If Second Front or USSR declares war on Japan or strategic materials are in the center space, their effects will be implemented according to the special rules in the decision segment. All other issues in the center space are won by no one and returned to the issue display with no effect. They can be selected again in the agenda segment. Player won the most issues wins the conference. Conditional issues win. Count backwards this total. If case of ties, use the tiebreaker procedure, blah, blah, blah. The winner of conference is given a conference victory marker. Yeah, because I think they're worth victory points at the end of the game. For every conference you win, I think you get 3 victory points. All right. Now we go to our decision segment. Decision segment is broken down into several consecutive abilities, during which each player will implement the issues won during the meeting segment. All activities in which multiple players must act begin with the player to the left of the winner of the conference and proceed clockwise. So place directed offensives. Each player must place all directed offensive issues won on any front's entry space. The selected front need not belong to any particular player. The order of placement starts with the player to the left of the conference winner and proceeds clockwise. So we won, so it's going to go to Stalin. He gets his directed offensive. So he can place his Yeah, he will just choose not to spend that right now. As long as he won it himself. He didn't win one. He didn't win one. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. Condition. There are 2 conditions. Second front in U.S. No, we don't have either one of those. Okay, production. Each player receives a base number of production markers. Right, each player can gain additional. Each player in turn allocates their production marker. All players must allocate all of their production markers. Okay, so. Alright, so let's get crazy here. I guess we'll start with Stalin. He has 4 production. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he is just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to put all 4 of them in the... Plus he's got that other one. So he'll... That's what he gets. 4 production. So the U.S. has 4 production. Alright, they're going to try 3 naval units there. That's 3. Alright, and he's going to put his 3. Going to put another naval there on the Central Pacific. Alright. That was his, plus he had 2 that he had to do down here. So he's going to put another 2 more on those. So instead of 2, it'd be 3 naval there. And I'll have 1 more. So he'll be putting it up here, I guess. No, he'll be putting his offensive marker there. No, put it down there. Okay. Okay. So that was the U.S. production. He had to put 2 there. Now for our production, we have 3 plus this one. So we're going to need 3 naval required for enter amphibious way down there. We don't need them yet. So we have to put our 1 here. Okay. Where else? Alright, so we have 3 more production we can put out. I'll put 1 more there. 1. And we'll put, let's see, 3 naval required to enter amphibious. Alright, we'll put 2 more there. That's fine. Okay. Alright. Directed offensives. Allocating Paul Mill issues. Right, okay. Active player may win political military issues, which we did. We also won Pacific Theater. So we get to put down 3. Let's see, we won a 1. Well, the U.S. first won. So he gets 2 of these. And I think he just rolls on the chart to see what he gets. Right. So we have first die will be green, second die will be red. Let's roll the 65. That is France. And 65. Well, he put 2 in France. Okay. Interesting. Now we get to put 2 down. No, we get to put 3 down. To put 3. And I have no idea where I should be putting these. And for what purposes I should be putting these down. It sounds like this area is probably, so put 1 in each one of there. And then US gets 1 of these and we get 1. So they're going to put 1 in France. No, they're going to put theirs in France. There we go. And we're going to put ours in Dutch East Indies. There we go. There we go. Okay. Winning a theater leadership issue. The player who won the issue also receives 2 offensive support and our naval support markers to be used. Right. So we're going to get 2. Naval, or I'll put 2 there. I'll put 2 there. That's crazy. If a player won both of them in the same conference, he receives a further bonus of 2 offensive support markers. What up?
When you're done there, can you help me move the wine rack?
Yeah. Stalin wins the issue. He designates whether the U.S. or blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay, well, let's see here. Great. Well, let's see. Let's see what's next on our list of things to look at. Starting with the player clockwise from the player won the meeting. Execute production decisions. Offensive and naval support awards. A-bomb die roll is made. And a global issue marker is resolved. And that is 610. A-bomb research. Let's see what it says here. If it was 1, roll a 6 die. Yeah, it wasn't 1. It's still in the middle, so I don't think it happens. We ignore the A-bomb research. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Global issue marker was not in play. So I think we go to the war phase. So each player, starting with the player with the most, each player in turn places all available. Okay, so everyone gets one of these. So we'll just, oops, put one there. We'll roll for the Soviets and we'll roll for the United States. Soviets first. 5, 4 is Bulgaria. That's over in their neck of the woods. And now for the U.S., 63, Malaya. Malaya, oh, that's mine. Oh, they tried to come into my territory, so I just lose it. They don't put their little thing out. I don't believe. All right, and then we did the political things, political alignment segments, starting with the player with the most. All right, then we are going to go to the military segment. All right, so we have 4 armies here, and we have 2. All right, we'll just see where they're going to. If was placed in priority 4, eliminates a naval marker. Battle of the Philippine Sea and Leyte Gulf. If the Japan was placed in priority 4 after the Navy was eliminated a naval marker. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's just roll. Roll 4 and 5. So one's going to go here. One's going to go here. 2. And a 6. So that's going to go here. Okay, so this, let's see, this front out here, it's not going to go anywhere. This front here, 2, 2. So they got to roll 10-sided dice. They have to roll a 2 or less. They rolled a 2, really. So I think they advance. Oh, hang on a second. Before they move here, hang on. Roll a d6 on a 1 to 2. Place one Japanese Navy in the theater box of a front attempting to enter an amphibious entry space and remove a naval marker there. If there's a choice, Central Pacific before Southwest Pacific before CBI. On a roll of 3 to 6, no effect. Attempting to enter an amphibious entry space. So yes, they are trying to do that. 4. Oh, there's no effect. Okay, well then no effect. I think that's right. This one's not going anywhere. This guy wants to move in. He's got to roll a die. 5, no effect. So, it's going to be 2, 4, 5, 6. He's going to roll 3 or less. I think he made it as well. Good Lord. These guys are moving. I could be wrong in how that works out, but I don't know. Up here, nothing's going to happen there. Here, 2, 4. Yeah, they're going to... No, they rolled an 8. Not high and not low enough to move up. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, they do. Boom, they move up. And then the Soviets, only 6. They have 2, 4, 5 supports. Yeah, I think they move up as well. 5 offensive supports. 2, 4. All right. Well, that's. I think what we're going to do is call it an episode, and review of a few things that I was a little unsure of, but I think not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. But yeah, I think it's a little more confusing than I thought it was going to be. So we will see everyone soon. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Hopefully you'll be back for the next episode, and we'll talk to you guys then. Until then, everybody have a good evening, and we'll talk to you guys soon.